Husband 30M atarted fight after mammogram bad news. I 32F am not sure how to forgive. I 32F and my husband 30M have been married for a year and some change. We have had a pretty solid relationship with some bumps in the road, but I am having a hard time forgiving him after a recent fight. Today, I had a mammogram to look at an existing fibroadenomas, non-cancerous lump in breast. That was 2.6 centimeters 6 months ago. Today is 3.2 centimeters. My surgeon was already urging me to get it removed because it's larger than 2.5 centimeters, so with the increase I went ahead and scheduled the surgical consultation for next Monday to get a surgery set up to get it removed. My husband called me on his way home and was telling me about how he used the news to get home early. I thought that was smart use of bad news. Though, given we were on the topic, I decided to talk about the particulars of the surgery. I was saying how they could do it without a scar by cutting through the areola or whatever it's called, nipple area. He cut me off and started laughing at me. That was the wrong word and that what I said was part of the lung, and if a surgeon was cutting near there then I shouldn't have them as a surgeon. I asked him how to say it then and he didn't know, but an alveola was in the lung. I said something with a different start. I looked it up and read it out loud, areola. Like air. He said, "You just said it with a versus twice," to which I said, "Oh, I didn't say it with a versus." At this point I thought we were just discussing and he misheard me. Also, I have a pretty strong southern accent, so I might have sounded like I said it with a versus. I was speaking on the speaker system on my car and I know it's pretty shit, but I guess to him I was aggressive because he said, "I am not arguing about this, I am hanging up," and hung up on the word up. There was no other conversation that I am leaving out. I was so confused on why he hung up. I mean, I was pretty taken aback. I called him back and asked why he hung up and he said, "I told you I wasn't going to fight, so I hung up." I tried to say we weren't fighting, we just disagreed. He then said, "I don't know what you want me to say," and I got upset and started tearing up. "You are acting like I was yelling and I wasn't." He then told me, "You always do this every time you are wrong, you misremember and deny," and then brought up a conversation from 2 days ago through text where I thought I gave him my food and he forgot to put it in the fridge. He said he didn't and I was like, "This is how I remember it, we weren't fighting, we even had a nuha and UHUH back and forth in text." He then pulled up the camera footage to show I put it on the counter. This happened 2 days ago. I mentioned that we haven't had an argument in almost a year besides that one. It's not fair to say I always do that, it implies I never take fault and have never apologized. He started getting short, saying I was putting words in his mouth, and I will admit I got upset after I tried to explain that's how it seemed, and he said, "I didn't say that." And I said, "What is it supposed to mean when you say," and repeated what he said in an exaggerated voice. He then said, "Thanks for mocking me," and hung up again. I then let him know I was going to hotel. That I am more upset than I can put into words and I don't want to see him. I am already stressed enough about the fibroadenomas and the impending surgery. I don't understand why this became a fight and I am having a hard time forgiving him. He wasn't emotionally supportive through the entire breast cancer scare. When I found the lump he refused to touch my chest. When I had a double biopsy he wasn't there and I went and drove home alone. His coworkers told him to go take me home, but instead of coming to do that he asked if I needed it because he didn't want to leave work and talk to me while I drove home. It's such a small dumb fight, but I think it broke the camel's back. So him starting a fight when I am telling him the details of the surgery just makes me feel like I will have no support if I ever have something serious happen to me. Like what happens if I get actual cancer? Heart problems? We are supposed to grow old together, but I am not sure I can rely on him anymore. His coworkers have more empathy than he does. How nice that he could use your medical situation to get out of work early and then do literally nothing to comfort or help you, instead opting to upset you. This man is not a good partner and frankly, not a good person. This man hates you. Even if you mispronounced the word and he didn't understand what you were trying to explain, highly doubt either is the case, he still chose a time you needed comfort to pick a fight. Over something that should never even be worthy of anything more than an oops. My husband and I have been in both scenarios many times thanks to ADHD, ODHD. We're barely older than you, and it has never been more than, "Oh, did you mean underscore?" and, "Oh shit, my bad." I don't want to be doom and gloom, but your husband is screaming being that 1 in 4 men who will bail on you as soon as you ever actually get sick. This isn't a small dumb fight. You're explaining your surgery and he was beyond an age. My God, what he did was f***ing horrible. This reminds me of that statistic of men leaving their wives after a cancer diagnosis or something like that. Just another story about a shitty, unsupportive husband. There's no way for anyone on here to teach him how to be empathetic and supportive. Perhaps couples therapy? Wish you the best no matter what. My partner, 42M, has the dreaded man flu again, and accused me, 36F, of being a cold-hearted b. Whenever he gets a minor cold, no fever, just a runny nose. He acts like it's the end of the world. He gets sick frequently, and I have caught a flu off him several times over the 12 years we've been together. Today, I was making his breakfast and he walked into the kitchen and started an argument over the fact I am not babying him enough. He said when he was growing up his mom always took such good care of him when he's ill, then followed it up with, "But I know you're not my mother." I told him I am just the kind of person that doesn't let a common cold debilitate me, and I keep going unless I'm fully unable to and have to stay in bed. He wouldn't let me speak at points and kept shouting over me, at one point saying, "If this is how you treat me, how would you deal with a child who is sick?" This stung, because we are trying for a baby. I was shocked and replied, "Are you trying to say I would be a bad mother?" And reminded him that he is not a child, so I am not going to treat him like one. I also pointed out how he seems well enough to engage in an argument. I am standing here making him breakfast, did the laundry, did the dishes, done the grocery shopping. I am taking care of the home, whilst working a full-time job. What more does he want from me? I don't know how to baby someone with a cold. I checked his forehead last night, no fever. He then refused to have the breakfast I was making. My question is, what form of babying would a man want in this situation? I really don't know how to do it. Update. Thanks for all the feedback. Some of the comments were truly helpful and have given me perspective. I even appreciate the negative ones. We are no longer trying for a baby. And I'm not sure where to go from here with regards to the relationship. We had a conversation and are no longer speaking. He insists I am the devil and ignored every point I made. I came home from work and the baby is currently hiding under the covers in the bedroom doing the fake sleep. You couldn't make it up. I haven't heard a single sniffle or sneeze, no tissues by his bed. I am pretty sure he's cured. Oh, and it happens to be our 13 years anniversary today. Funny he should say you'd be a bad mother because you won't coddle him, but his behavior would not make him a bad father. Girl, seriously, think about this human being, as the father of your children. Think about your child and this man sick at the same time. Don't subject a child to this if this man is who you want to spend your life with. That's your choice to make, but don't force a child to have to deal with this. I know you are not my mother. In his head, he wants you to be. He expects you to be. He wants to be treated like a sick child. I want to throw up. I could not have a child with this man. Imagine having gastro and looking after your child who also has gastro, and arguing with your husband because he accuses you of not caring enough about his indigestion that he swears could be gastro. 53-year-old man here, who very rarely gets sick. My wife is the one with the horrid immune system. If I'm not feeling well, I don't want any babying. I want to lay in bed, rest, and sleep it off. If I need something I can handle it. Guess what? Your husband can, too. What, does he want you to rub Vicks on his chest while singing Soft Kitty? Well, go back to your mother then. Stop trying to have a child with this man. He's going to get worse if you have one, because he won't be the center of attention anymore. This isn't about having the man flu. This is about complete disrespect for you. Advice on coming back from my wife's affair and pregnancy, 43 male, 40 female. I 43 male have been with my wife 40 for 22 years. We have 2 sons together, 17 and 16, and our 17-year-old is having a baby. I know it's young, so please no comments on that. I love my small happy family. I've been out of work, I was in an accident and bedridden for weeks. So my wife was working more. Sex was pretty much non-existent. Actually completely non-existent. 2 weeks ago, my wife had a medical issue, a miscarriage. Ob told us it was early. My wife said she wasn't even aware she was pregnant. I hadn't had sex with my wife during this time frame and put 2 and 2 together. She confessed, she was apologetic, more than apologetic, she was a mess. Crying and screaming, begging for forgiveness, told me he made her feel beautiful and young again. The guy was 25. That she let her fantasies of something new get the best of her. She's been apologizing since I found out. I immediately asked her to leave. She went to stay with her sister for a few days. When she came back we talked about it again. She was still a mess, profusely crying, calling herself horrible names. I told her it was going to be okay, we were going to make it work. It's been horrible, I resent everything little thing she does. She asked me if maybe therapy would help. It infuriated me that she did this and now she's suggesting therapy. Along with that, she's grieving the loss of a child she had with another man. I have no clue how to help. I am devastated, sleeping in my room alone, making her sleep in the guest bedroom. I love my wife, I love my small family. I can't imagine throwing away 22 years like she seemed to be so willing to do. I don't know how I will be able to sleep next to her, or make love again without thinking about this man. Thinking about these years she was willing to throw away. I want to so badly, I want it to work so badly, I do not want to end my marriage. My heart's never been so shattered. She was my first serious girlfriend, now I can barely stand to look at her. Has anyone been in a similar situation as this? And overcame it? Looking for advice. What would have happened had she not miscarried? This the question you need to sit with. I agreed to individual and couples counseling when my fiancé cheated. After a few sessions, I told him it wasn't going to work and I was done. It did give me peace that I knew I made the right decision. That may not be the choice of what's best for you, but I'd suggest exploring the options. It's not just about the sex. It's about the fact that she was selfish and callous when you were going through a hard time. Marriage is not just about forsaking all others, it's about being there for each other in good times and bad. She failed you on both fronts. I am so sorry that you're going through this. She got caught and is making herself the victim. This is pure manipulation. Okay, so 1. She didn't confess, she got caught, she would have never told you. 2. She's trying to make herself the victim with all the crying, screaming, and apologies. 3. You said you're going to make it work, and your gut is screaming at you that it isn't right. It isn't right. 4. Your kids are going to absolutely tell you resent her. They're not stupid. You might want to keep the family together for the kids, but you don't think you're going to do them any favors. I also don't think you're going to get over or trust her ever again. My husband had a heart attack and I drove him around for 6 months and changed everything to take him to appointments and work. I worked from H9 Mali, cut meetings short, whatever he needed. I did not go find another penis to sit on. If I were you, I'd make her leave again and make it permanent. She's already showing you she can't be there for the hard times. Imagine how she'd behave if you got cancer and needed 24-hour care. She failed the test. Why is my F31 husband, M35, acting so different after having a baby? I had a baby 5.5 weeks ago and I feel like my husband wants nothing to do with me anymore. He doesn't touch me, cuddle me or spend any time with me. He's been off work the whole time for parental leave, but he's been working around the house doing a lot of physical labor, so he'll usually wake up at 11 a.m. then go outside until 10 p.m. when I usually go to bed, then spends the next few hours in the garage. His friends sometimes come over to hang out with him or help him out, so he spent way more time with them than me. The whole time he's been off, we only watched 2 movies together and that was at the beginning and have barely spent any time together since. I did have a tough first 3 weeks, but I've been a lot better since and have lost all the baby weight gain and I look like I did before, so it's not anything physical that's repelling him away. I've talked to him a few times, but he just says he's been busy working around the house and needs to get everything done before he goes back to work. He goes back in 2 weeks and he usually works 6-7 days, so I'll barely see him then too. I don't even ask him to help out with the baby anymore. I do everything myself during the day and night and maybe ask him to change a diaper or 2 or bottle feed a few times a week just so he could spend some time with the baby. He used to help me bathe her and hasn't helped out the last couple of weeks. I feel like I'm a single mother because he's literally never around to do anything. I'm not sure what's going on. He was supposed to stop smoking before the baby was born and I thought he did, but I found out a few days ago that he never stopped and has been vaping behind my back the whole time. I broke down last night because the baby had a blowout and I asked him to help me run a bath around 9 p.m. and he was super rude about it and told me he didn't want to because he was too tired and his back hurt. We haven't been intimate since I was around 4 months pregnant because he felt weird with a baby inside me and I haven't been cleared to have sex yet, so I'm hoping that changes some things, I'm not sure. I'm very upset and after his behavior last night, I'm considering staying at my parents' for a few days. Too long did not read. My husband has been acting so different after having a baby. He'll barely touch me or spend any time with me. I think staying with your parents is a really good idea. You need someone to take care of you while you are learning to be a mom. Once you're well rested, then you can talk to your husband. Yes, go stay with your parents. You need to be resting, and if he won't care for you, you need to be with someone who will. Are these real things around the house that he's working on? Or are these superficial made up a little projects that is more along the lines of busy work? Does he not realize he's on _paternity_leave? Which is meant for taking care of you and learning how to be a father, not _special home projects _leave? If your parents will care for you and help you rest, go there. Even if you were cleared for sex and it does end up helping things, that means your husband will only help you when he's able to have sex with you. That is not good. Your relationship and the care for the children should not be dependent on your sex life. A lot of men think they want babies because they've been trained that way since birth, and then once reality hits and they realize that they can't be selfish anymore, then they bail physically or mentally.